Okay, the very first step is you need to do your mise en place, which is just a fancy way of saying prepping all of your stuff and getting it ready to go before you even start cooking. I've just taken the wedge of Parmesan, cut it into smaller pieces to make it easier. To be honest, I would just shred it all. I don't know of any recipe that uses Parmesan when it's not shredded. So I would just shred it all. And I don't know exactly how much you use in the sauce. I'll explain that when we get to that part. But for now, just shred it all, put it in a bowl or a Ziploc bag, and have it ready to go. Oh, and side note, the smaller the grate, the better, because you're going to be melting this in the sauce. So if it's big pieces, it takes longer, and you might have chunks. Next, put your pot, preferably a pot, or a deep pan. You want some deeper sides, at least, on the stove eye, and turn the eye onto medium. You'll be tempted to turn it up higher because this process can be kind of slow. Don't do that until you've done this a few times and you're used to kind of the pacing and all the steps that you got to take and things like that, because you don't want to risk burning the sauce, because that cream will burn and stick to the bottom. But if you have it on medium, it should be fairly safe. So you turn it on medium and let the pot heat up for about 10 minutes before you go any farther. It is also a good idea before you start grating to pour out about 1.5 cups of cream, just sitting out on the counter. It won't mess anything up if you're using cold cream, but it does slow down the process. So the closer to room temperature you can get, the better. Follow the instructions for whatever bouillon cubes you picked up. But generally, if you've got cubes, it's 1 cube per cup. This is a 4-cup measuring cup. So you would use 4 of these cubes. Just open them up, plop them in, put them in your microwave. 4 cups, 4 minutes. You won't necessarily use all of this stock, but it's better to have it and not need it. You've eaten recently. Cubes are in the water. Now they go in the microwave 4 minutes. When it comes out of the microwave, the cubes will still kind of be together on the bottom. You need to get a spoon like this, stir it up, and then along the bottom, if there are any cubes left, you'll see them hit the sides. You just need to smash them with your spoon so it all gets mixed together, but most of it should be done. If you do not have a 4-cup measuring cup, do not worry. If you've got a small saucepan, just put water in it, 3/4 of the way to the top, put 4 bouillon cubes, bring it to a boil, stir. It does not have to be a measuring cup. Now that we have everything ready to go, we can start making the sauce. Okay, my pan is hot. If you have never noticed before, your package of butter should be separated into tablespoons. You want 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter into the pan, which should be pretty hot by now because it's been warming up for 10 minutes. When you make a roux, you generally match the amount of flour to the amount of fat that you're using. Since we are making a white sauce, your fat is generally going to be butter. Once the butter has melted, now you want 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. We will mix. Now, this is a small step, but an important one. You have to cook the flour. If you do not cook the flour will make whatever you're cooking taste like glue. So give it like a minute, maybe, You'll smell the flour start to smell like cookie dough or something. As soon as you smell that, it's probably good. You just have to cook the flour, the raw flour taste out. But once that is done, get your whisk. Hopefully, if not, just a little bit more work to do to make sure that there aren't lumps. And you start slowly pouring in some of your cream. And whisk it in. Now what's happening here is the cream is going to heat up, it's going to seize up. You see this? It's seizing up into clumps. Okay? Now that it's seized up, a little bit more. And whisk. This is why a whisk is handy. It breaks up these clumps. It's not necessary. You could do it with a spatula, you could do it with a fork or a spoon, or it just takes a little bit more work. You just want to make sure there are no lumps. That's the main thing. See, season up. Add some more. Now you are going to end up making more sauce than you need, which is fine, because then you can use this later on in the week for your dinner or whatever. It'll be ready to go. All you gotta do is just reheat it. Last of our cream. See how now it's kind of thinned out quite a bit. It's not the big clumps. Now it's more like kind of a pancake batter sort of consistency. Okay. Now we move on to the bouillon. God, cup's hot. Same process. But see, now we have enough liquid to where it doesn't seize up anymore, but it's thickened. That's what we want. Now the thing is, if you're making this the night before, especially, if it's thick when it's hot, it's gonna be super thick when it cools down, okay? So now we need to thin it out so we can add cheese. The cheese is also going to thicken it. So you see here, out of the 4 cups, I've used about 3. Still pretty loose. We're going to reserve that last cup over there in case we need to thin it out more after we've added cheese. Okay. Just set your spatula aside. Now you start adding cheese. Generally, I would say you'd want at least 2 cups. The thing is, I don't normally measure this out, so I don't really know how much you need. But what I do know is you start with just about a handful. You stir it in. You don't want to try to stir in too much at a time. It'll lower the temperature, and then you got to deal with lumps. So when it looks like everything you put in is melted, next handful. So I've probably put in about 2 cups right now. So I guess not 2 cups, maybe closer to 4 cups. We'll see here in a minute. But as you stir, you will see the viscosity of the liquid increase as it's thickening, okay? Okay, this is about cup number 3. Okay, cup number 4. So if you're keeping track, that was 1.5 cups of cream. So far 3 cups of chicken bouillon and 4 cups of cheese. Okay, so now that we have that in there, it's still pretty loose. That's okay. You have got to taste this as you go, because you don't know what you're missing unless you try it. Okay, see how it's covering the spoon? That's what we're looking for. Okay, it's pretty good. A little heavy on the cream and butter part, so I'm gonna add a little bit more cheese. Maybe about another 1/2 cup. If you like the way it tastes, great. So now that we kind of have the base, now we start seasoning it. And this is to taste. It's just how much you think it needs or doesn't need. That was white pepper. You can use black pepper, that's fine. I just use white pepper so it doesn't stick out in the sauce. Parmesan has salt in it, so you want to be really careful. Make sure you're tasting it, and you know, to determine if it needs more salt. This needed just a touch. And finally, garlic. Again, like I said, it's to taste, so that's probably about a tablespoon. I'm sorry for the long uncut video. I just wanted you to get an idea in real time how long this takes. Right now we're at 10 minutes. Okay. Get your clean tasting spoon. Coating the back, that's what we're looking for. There we go. That is a pretty damn good sauce. So now you turn the heat off. Again, this is if you're making it a day ahead. Take it off the eye, let it cool down. Okay, if not, you do the same steps. Turn the eye off, take it off the heat, and then what you would do, so once you have your sauce, you get your sauce ready first. Then you make your noodles. Don't try to do them at the same time, it's too much work. Get your sauce ready, then boil your noodles. You want them al dente, which means they are just done. They're still a little firm, but not crunchy in the middle, okay? You drain them. You don't even have to drain them. Once they're done, just take them off the eye. And then you could actually take like tongs or something and just dip them into the sauce and put that directly on the plate. If you want to ladle this out onto the noodles, you can do that too, however you want to do it. But yeah, this is done. If you have any questions, or if you want me to like hang out while you're doing it, if you think you want me sitting on your shoulder, just let me know. Okay? Love you, bud.